Welcome back, art students. Now we're going to start by using our scissors to cut out very carefully all of our shapes that we planned with our pencil on that edge, okay? This is important that you cut very carefully and safely with your scissors. At all times, try to cut away from your body. And take your time, go slow, cut directly on the lines as close as possible so that when you remove your pieces, you get an accurate removal of those shapes. Oh, I'm so excited to see what my geometric stencil is gonna look like. I bet you it's gonna look really cool and interesting and unique. So I'm working my way from the top all the way down to the bottom. And this does take a while. Just make sure that you take your time with it and don't rush yourself because, this is a defining moment with how well your project is really going to turn out. So I just stress to you, take your time. I notice I missed a spot right here, so I'm going to go back. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. There we go. That looks better. Notice that I'm going kind of back and forth. If I did one whole length, it might get a little bit floppy and hard to kind of hold it in my hand as I do the opposite half. So I would recommend that you kind of do it like as if you're climbing a ladder. You would go up one step at a time, right? Well, it's kind of the same way. I'm going down kind of in a back and forth kind of manner between both edges. Now this whole thing is going to get rather flimsy the farther along we get because we're removing a lot of the paper that would help it to hold its sturdiness. So actually, the farther along you get in this cutting process, the more careful you're gonna have to become. Think of it as like cutting out like an epic paper snowflake. That is basically what we're kind of doing right now. Okay. And I'm just going to keep working along here. You can work along with me. I don't really have anything much more to say at this point. It's just a matter of getting to the end of it. We'll be very careful. Notice these two shapes that I just cut out, they come really close together here. And I don't want them to actually touch because if I cut where they touch, it would actually create a whole separate piece. And I want mine to be all one piece, not separate pieces. So be careful, be very careful not to accidentally chomp your stencil into two big halves. And that might happen to some of you. And if that happens, it's okay. You're just gonna have to work with two stencils instead of one, I guess. But it makes it easier if you have one big one versus two small ones. You really have to have a steady hand and really have a good sense of control with your scissors as you're cutting. It's almost like you're drawing with the scissors. That's like the best way I could explain this, how I'm using my scissors, because I'm cutting directly on top of the lines that I drew. So I think it's really good practice for you, just to get the hang of your cutting skills with your scissors, to really practice. Like, the farther I get, the more excited I am to reveal my pattern. Oh, here's a hard... Circles are really tough to do, just for the heads up, but they're not impossible. You just got to go really slow and be very careful. The rounded edges are really hard. Triangles are definitely a lot easier. I would recommend triangles over circles. But if you like a challenge for yourself, go ahead and try a circle. Ovals aren't so bad. It's kind of like a mixture of triangle and circle, I guess, in a weird way. Okay, so I'm almost to the end here. I'm just gonna stop my video and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all cut out. And then I will open it up for you even and show you what it looks like when it's opened up. It's gonna be super cool. All right, I will see you in the next video.